Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon to everyone. So I am Michael Abelio, um, and I am part of GEG Mandaue, and I'm here to be as your cherista. Um, Please give a special shout out to the teachers and educators in the audience, and welcome to GEG APAC Weekend Stay Connected 5.0. The GEG APAC Weekend is a collaborative effort of Google educator groups around the Asia Pacific region. Habang meron tayong mga webinars hosted dito sa Pilipinas, kasabay natin ang mga iba pang guro sa Asia Pacific at nakikinig din sa mga webinars sa kani-kanilang bansa. Meron pong webinars sa Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, India, Japan at South Korea. Naka-flash po ngayon sa screen yung website kung saan makita ninyo po ang lahat ng webinars na nangyayari ngayon. So please try to see. Yes, it's sites.google.com, view ggAsia./home. Okay. So this afternoon, we are blessed that we would be able to hear a speaker who would be discussing um, more about Google Slides Plus, in which this time around it's about interactive sessions. She is none other than Tony Juana, Juana Marie uh, Halangwe. So Miss Tony um, catches the attention. The session is about catching the attention of students and making them participate in one of the challenges um, here, in which it is creating interactive slides and presentations. Miss Tony is a social science teacher of the junior high school in De La Salle University Integrated School. She is a graduate of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, with a bachelor's degree in economics major in natural resource economics, and of the University of the Philippines Open University with a diploma in environment and natural resources management. She is currently teaching basic principles of economics to grade 9 students. She is also a certified Google educator, certified Google trainer, Google Applied Digital Skills ambassador, inspiration educator, iRoad ambassador, and Screencastify coach. So she really has a lot on her belt. So thank you, Miss Tony, for being with us. So I hope that you find you're well there in Manila.
Yes, sir. I'm actually in Laguna right now. So thank you
Oh,
for
okay.
the introduction. Thank you.
Sorry.
Good afternoon. Okay lang, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Michael, and good
Yeah.
afternoon to everyone watching. Ayan. Thank you. Thank you for um, inviting me to be part of this GGA pack. Ayan. Thank
Yes,
you.
we're also very thankful for you, Miss Tony, for sharing your gifts and talents to other people. I'm very much sure that they will be blessed as they would be able to listen to you, and we would be able to also upskill ourselves in knowing more on how to try to use Google Slides, and also with regard to the other skills in technology, because that is quite important right now,
Yes,
diba?
sir. That's true. Lalo na po na there's a surge again of
Mm,
cases.
yeah.
So, we're not seeing na babalik tayo with the face-to-face anytime soon. So, ayun,
Mm.
we're still online. So, really yung education with technology is really important na ma-improve
Yes.
natin every day actually. So ayan, thank you for this opportunity, especially for the teachers na kailangan talaga ng mga ganitong sessions in order for them to learn more and improve their skills. Ayan.
Yes. So that they can do more and also be more. Hindi ba?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
right, sir.
So Miss Tony, if you're ready to get going, you can have already the virtual floor. So for your session this afternoon. Thank you very much, Miss
Thank
Tony.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ayan, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon po from Iloilo, Imos, and also from Tacloban. We have here also from Laguna. Hello sa mga taga Laguna, Rizal. Hello po. Good afternoon po sa lahat. And also with my colleagues, family, and friends na here live. Good afternoon to everyone and welcome to GEG APAC and to this session, which is all about Google Slides Plus and about the interactive session. So, for this session, we'll learn how to make our Google Slides more interactive during our synchronous classes, or even if we have already face to face, we can use this also. So, good afternoon to everyone. So, let's start. And again, I'm Miss Tony, a certified Google trainer teaching social science, specifically economics for junior high school students. So for this session, we'll talk about I actually divided this into three parts or three levels. So our session's objectives is divided into beginner, intermediate, and expert. So to go about this session, we'll start first with a simpler way on making our sessions interactive, and then we'll make our way up to expert level. So for the beginner level, we'll just use Google Slides and make it more interactive. So earlier, another trainer or teacher already shared how to work on with the Google Slides, how we use Google Slides. So now we'll dive deeper into exploring Google Slides and make it more interactive. And then in the intermediate level, we'll use Google Slides and then Jamboard together in order to make our session interactive. And then for the expert level, we'll be using Google Slides with Pear Deck. So to start off, what is Google Slides in the first place? I think everyone here present is familiar with with the Google Slides. And we have already used this for our presentations even before the pandemic happened. So, the Google Slides is one of the Google tools that can be used for presentations. And like this one that I'm using right now, I'm using Google Slides actually. So, this is our Google Slides layout. So, this is our interface. This is what you'll see once you go to Google Slides. And then here are the different parts that we have. So on the upper part of the Google Slides interface, you'll see, of course, our toolbar. So the different options that you can use in order to create your slides or your presentation. On the left side, we call it a film strip. And then on the right side, we have additional options. So for example, you're formatting your photo, the text, or you're searching things from Google search, or even your animations, you'll be able to use it or set the settings on this part. On the bottom part, you'll be able to see your speaker notes. So if you have notes for your presentation, so you'll be able to put it there. And of course, the slide that you're editing. So that is what you'll see in your Google Slides. Now, the question here is, Miss Tony, why make it interactive in the first place? So for with the global pandemic, we had to shift from face-to-face setup to online distance learning. And because of some factors like poor internet connectivity or lack of technological resources for students, gadgets, etc. So we have very limited interaction with them. So this is one of the problem. Now, one of our problems is the attention span of our students. So they have very short attention span. We know this even during our face-to-face session. We have to really create a lively environment during our sessions with them, during our class with them, in order to catch their attention and for them to really capture the topics that we are discussing. So now we are in a online distance learning setup. It's much more harder to capture their attention. We really don't know what happened on the other side of the screen. And sometimes, because of, again, the limited internet connectivity or even the gadgets that they use, we cannot see them. cameras are always closed, and most of our sessions, we feel like we're just talking to ourselves. Can you feel me? We have experienced everyone of this. Every time we are in a meet session, patay lahat ng camera, wala tayong nakikita, yung mukha lang natin. So we feel na, may kausap pa ba ako o wala pa, nandyan pa ba kayo? So yun yung lagi nating problem pagdating sa online setup. So minsan tatanungin na natin, nandyan ka pa ba? Pakigalaw ang baso. So lagi natin yung ginagawa, 'di ba, mga teachers. So ayan. So with this setup, talagang interaction is really hard. So how can we capture their attention at the same time measure their understanding while we are in a synchronous session? So the answer here is make it interactive as much as possible. Make them participate in our session. But how? How are we going to make them participate? Or how can we make this session interactive and interesting for our students? So first and foremost, galawang media, ayan. Gusto ko yan. Ganito lagi tayo pagka wala nang sumasagot, wala kahit man lang thumbs up na nakikita, pakigalaw ang mga baso, students. So we have different ways to make our session interactive. So let's start with the beginners. So for the beginner level, we'll be using just Google Slides. So earlier again, we have discussed or one of our sessions is about Google Slides and how we use Google Slide, how we can we edit the Google Slides. Now for this session, we'll make it more interactive. So for this one, I have actually created another slide for you to see kung papaano natin gagawin yung ating Google Slides na maging interactive. So of course, first, you have to create your slides presentation. So from the topics, the definitions, create all of those. And then let's add the different activities that we can insert to your Google presentation. So for this one, we have different examples. So I have created 3 different examples for an interactive session. So what we can do, there are 2 ways actually in creating an interactive session for your students. Now, of course, we don't want the students to accidentally edit the part that you don't want them to change. So may mga clickable tayo na items. Like for this one, we have a clickable text here. May text din dito. Now, if we're going to share this with our students for them to change or put their answers, there can be an accident na mabago nila yung mga hindi dapat mabago. So there are 2 ways para hindi nila to mabago. One is downloading the slide as a photo. So just go to File and then go to Download and then download it as a JPEG. Just the current slide. Or if you want, download every slide as a JPEG na. And then after that, once you downloaded it, so this one is actually what I've created earlier. So tanggalin muna natin ulit. So for this one, click on the background and then choose the image. So yung sinave nyong image earlier from this slide, yun yung ilalagay nyong image for this slide. So as you can see, dito sa first slide natin na ginawa ko, meron pa tayong mga text box, photos na kayang mapaltan ng students nyo if you're going to share this with your students. Now, for this second slide, nang ginawa natin is we change the background photo for this specific slide. Wala na siyang makaklik na kahit ano. No text box, no pictures. And as you can see, same sila ng look with the first slide. Okay? So as you can see, hindi na siya may edit at all. So this is what we can do for all of our slides that we will share with our students to make it interactive. And also for our activities. So for example, the questions that you're going to give them. So wala silang magiging clickable link except for those things na gagamitin nyo to make an activity or to have an activity with them. Another way, in order for them to not change anything except for the things that you want them to change, is to go to slide and then edit the theme. So in the themes part, you can create all of the slides that you want to have in this part. So instead of creating the slide in our regular editing, you can create or edit the slide here. So you can put, so for example, in this type of slide, you want to put the question here. So just type in the question that um, you wanted to put in. So for example, what is the question, etc. So just edit there the question. And then after you're done editing the slide theme, you will see it here in the slides na. And actually, you will see it in the different slides that you can add in your presentation. So again, they won't be able to edit the slides or the parts that you don't want them to edit. So that's one way or the first part of editing or creating the Google Slides. So after you done it, now you can start working on each activities. So for example, in this activity, I want them to give examples of fruits and then vegetables. And in order for them to put the different examples, I've created notepads or sticky notes wherein they can insert the text or insert the uh, answers and then drag the notepads to whatever side they want to. So for example, they wanted to share the different fruits. Ayan. So for this one, so just they can just put the answer and then put apples. So before they can do that, sorry for skipping this part, you must share, of course, the Google Slides to your students. So click on share and you will see there the you can add the email address of the students that you wanted to, or you can just copy the link of the Google slide and share it with your students. Or even if you're during your synchronous session, you can chat the link with your students and they can just click on it and they'll be able to join the Google Slides. So once they join the Google Slides, you can direct them, instruct them on what they will do in the activities that you have created for them. So this is one example. Another is they'll be choosing the letter of their choice for for the question. So for example, you have a question and then they'll be selecting, is it letter A, letter B, or letter C? What they'll do is just write their name here in the sticky note. And then after writing their name, they can drag the sticky note to the letter of their choice. So you can see all of the answers of your students. And again, they can participate in the session that you have created with them. So hindi na siya, tatawagin mo sila na, oh, Tony, what is your answer? So, di ba, parang hindi mo na sila tatawagin, pakigalaw ang baso, ano ang sagot sa question na ito, letter A, letter B, letter C. So, they can answer using the Google Slides. And then, the other example here is they can put their explanations. Again, we have here sticky notes for their explanation. So, they can put their answers in the sticky notes. So, of course, for those teachers, they want to present also this slides to their ano tawag dito, synchronous session. So during your meeting with them, Google Meet with them, you want also to show this. For those students na hindi maka-join, for example, you have students na um, mahina yung internet connection or just using smartphones or tablets and cannot join the session. So what do you want to do is to share also the screen. So as you can see, lahat ng nandito sa screen, nakikita nyo ngayon. So even the toolbar, even the film strip. But what can we do is just for us to focus lang dun sa slide na pinapresent natin ngayon, we can hide actually all of the other things that we don't need. So for example, the film strip, your students don't need to see all of the slides beforehand and just focus on one slide at a time. So what can we do is just click on the bottom on the lower left-hand corner, which is hide the film strip. Or you can go to view Actually, this is a new feature in Google Slides wherein you can hide and show the film strip. So just click on it. Also, you can hide the speaker notes. So as you can see, I'm hiding it already. So hide also the speaker notes. And then we can also hide our toolbar. So just click on this button on the upper right below the share button and just hide the toolbar. So what your students or what you can present now is focused on the slide that you are presenting or you're focusing on. And you can just scroll on or click right left in order to change the slides that you can focus. Yan. So that is for Google Slides. So I hope it's easier for you to go around Google Slides, play around with the different activities you can use. So um, besides the notes, sticky notes, you can also insert different shapes. Your students can also insert photos or insert different shapes, text, and photos in order to answer. For those who are teaching math, you can also insert some graphs or graphing page there so that your students can graph from one point to another. So there are a lots of activities that you can work on using just the Google Slides. So this is for our basic level. Ayan. So I hope you can still follow my discussion. I hope you're still with me. Ayan. Good afternoon for those who have just joined. Ayan, we're now in our next level, which is Google Slides and Jamboard. So for the Google Slides and Jamboard, what is Jamboard first? Jamboard is another tool from Google. It is a digital whiteboard where you can again work collaboratively with others and with your students. So how are we going to do it, or how are we going to use Google Jamboard with Google Slides? So like what I'm doing right now, I actually linked or place a link here in my Google Slide. So this is a Google Slide presentation, and I have placed a Google link here in the agenda page or agenda button. So what you can do is you have an activity in the middle of the discussion and you will be using Jamboard. You can create a slide where you can put the link for your Google Jamboard. Now, once you click the link or once you click that part in your discussion or in your Google Slides, it will direct you to the Google Jamboard page. So this is our Google Jamboard page, or this is our Google Jamboard interface. This is what you'll see in our Google Jamboard. Now, here we have the tools. Of course, you can set a background also. And then we have here the different tools that you can use. So we have sorry, I cannot see. Yeah, we have here the pen and then the eraser. So for the pen, you have different types of pen that you can choose from, and the different types of colors. Then of course, eraser, the selecting tool. You can also have sticky notes there, and then you can add an image, different shapes where you can use it, and then text box, of course, and a laser tool if you want to highlight while discussing a part in the Jamboard presentation. So now, to start off, we have here, you can set a background. As you can see, for those again teaching math like myself, so in economics, we have mathematical equations, computations, and we also have graphing. And I really have a hard time teaching just with handouts and just with presentation. So I need to show them step by step. And in order to show them step by step, I use Jamboard in order to show the computation, the solution, and then how to graph. So really, this graphing background helps me with graphing since I'm really not good with lines, drawing lines. Ayan. So you can also add an image, or if you have created an image background, you can also do that. So you can work on it, and then start with the pen or insert text. So you can do whatever you want in the Google Jamboard. So you can create the activity before sharing it with your students. So again, you have to share the Google Jamboard with your students, add the email address, or share the link of the Google Jamboard for them to join it. Then after that, so here's an example. So for this one, what is economics? So your students can answer through text box. So economics is a study of YR. Sorry, yeah. Economics is a study of etc. And then they can also use a sticky note to explain their answer, and then just place it there, or they can write their answer. If they have pen for their tablets, they can access this using just a phone or a smartphone or even tablets, so they don't need laptops in order to access Google Jamboard. And then you can see actually who are working on the Google Jamboard, especially if you are required to sign in to your Google account. So for in some schools, they have domain accounts wherein they're using the same Gmail school accounts. So you can restrict other people from entering or from having an access to your Google Jamboard or even Google Slides. So you can see really who is working on the Google Jamboard. So another way of creating an activity or creating a question is by adding a background. So as you can see here, this is from the previous slide, and you already have created a question there. So in this case, again, your students won't be able to edit the question. So what they can do is just add their answers there by using pen, sticky note, an image if they have or if they have answered the question using pen and paper and took a picture of it, they can upload it in the Google Jamboard, and you can use also the text box. And then after their answers, you can highlight their answers. So for example, this answer is correct. This answer lacks something. So what else can we add with this explanation? So you can do that using Google Jamboard. So Google Jamboard is really helpful, especially for those who needs to really show a step-by-step explanation of things. So it can be for arts, even English, for checking some parts of the grammar. Yan. So really, we can maximize the use of Google Jamboard. Now, once we're done with the Google Jamboard, we have the last but not the least and my favorite interactive tool for my sessions, which is the, let's go here, which is the Google Slides and Pear Deck. So this is my favorite interactive tool since it's really easy for me to create interactive sessions with my students. At the same time, in Pear Deck, I can show the answers of my students anonymously. Although on my side, I can see their answers and who answered what. So my students are more confident to share their point of views regarding the topics that we are discussing, since what I show in my slides or in my discussion or in our synchronous session are anonymous answers. So they are free to answer whatever. There's no judgment with their answers. So in Pear Deck, so it's another tool that you can link with your Google Slides for it to be interactive. So you'll still be using Google Slides, and we'll just have an add-on in our Google Slides for it to be interactive. Yes, we love Pear Deck. So for this one, so let's go to our, so for this one, of course, if there are other tools besides Google, of course, we have there the pricing issues. So in one of my sessions actually with GEG Philippines and DepEd, it's still an ongoing session every Wednesday, I think. I actually use this. And some of the viewers actually ask if they can use it for free. And yes, of course, you can use it for free. Actually, if you sign up for Pair Deck, you get to use and try the premium features for 30 days. So free for 30 days. And but it's kind of pricey for individual use. So sometimes it's better for schools and districts to have ano dito yung premium account for a school. So it's I think it's much cheaper if it's that way than individual. Yeah. Really, it's an add-on that really make your slides interactive. That's really true. Ayan. But using it for free, it's still okay. So we have still the features that we want. We still have the quizzes, the polls, the formative assessments. You can still use it seamlessly with Google or even Microsoft PowerPoint if you're using PowerPoint. And then they can answer still anonymously. So the free features are still okay with me. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, yes, it's a bit pricey, especially for the premium features. But yeah, if you really want to have an interactive session, free is good enough. Now, once you're done with the sign up, you'll have to install the extension Chrome in your Google Chrome. So, same with the other add-ons, yeah, and you'll have to look for the add-ons in the Pear Deck site. You have an instruction there that you'll have to download the extension and you'll be able to see it in your Google Slides. So let's go to the sample. So I have again created an example slide wherein we're using Google Slides uh, and Pear Deck. Google Slides and Pear Deck. Yeah. So for this one, as you can see, I have already installed the Pear Deck extension on my Google Slides. So just click on the Pear Deck. It will show to your Google Slides toolbar. Once you click Pair Deck, it will show up the toolbar specifically for Pair Deck. And this is what you'll use in order to make your slides interactive. Now, what you'll do is first again create your slides for your session. So put all of the topics, definitions there, and then add questions or add instructions, activities for your session. But if you don't have the time to think of an activity for or think of a question for your students, there are actually templates created here is in the Pear Deck. So you can choose from different templates there. So we have here lesson builders for the beginning, during, end of lesson. So next, we have learning development. We have SELs here, which is really good to check your students. What are they feeling? How are they doing, especially during the pandemic? And then we have different questions for different subject areas. So they have already templates there, created templates. So once you click on one template, you'll be given different questions that you can choose from. So for example, in the beginning of the session, you want to ask them how did they do with their homework. You have given them the homework, and then the next session you want to check them, how did they do. So just click on the template here and it will automatically show in the slides that you have created. So it will add in your slides, and as you can see here, it already have an instruction at the bottom part. And actually, in the point of view of the students, there is an instruction also for them on what they'll do. So that's for the slides. Now, if you have an activity for them or you have created a question for them and you just want the interactive features of Pear Deck, you may do so. So here we have created a question. No need to download it and upload it as a background feature. Just edit it as normally. So insert the question, insert the different parts that you'll be needing, and then what you'll do, here we have the different types of question that is available for each slide that you have. Now, in the free account, if you're not going to go with a premium, you don't have the draw and draggable features. You only have the text, the choice, and the number and the website for our free accounts. But still, it's still enough. So for this question, you want them to answer A, B, or C. You can use the choice type of questioning. So just click on the choice and it will prompt the settings you wanted them. So for A, what will be the question? B, question. C, answer. And then you can upload or update the slide. But for our example, I'll be using Draggable, wherein your students can drag the icon to the answer. So for this one, I've chosen heart and then the color red and then the size of the draggable item and then update slide. And it will automatically add the interactive question to your slide. So once you're done editing your slides, you may now share it with your students, but not like the same with the Jamboard and the Google Slides from earlier. Also, don't click on slideshow. Instead, what you'll click is start the lesson for you to be able to use the interactive session with Google or with Pear Deck. Now, in this part we have here, it can be a student paced or instructor paced. For the student paced, we usually use this if it's asynchronous. And the instructor paced, of course, during synchronous session, you want your students to follow the discussion. So once you're done with the slides and you have chosen the setting for your Pear Deck, what you'll see is, so let's wait for it to launch. Yeah, and what you'll see are two screens or two tabs. First is, of course, the screen wherein you can share it with your students during synchronous sessions. So this is what you'll share to your Google Meeting or your Zoom. Now, the other tab is the teacher dashboard. So this is where you'll see all of their answers or responses for the session. So for this example, you can join actually right now the session. So just go to joinpd.com and type the code here, MUMCHO. So just go to joinpd.com. I hope someone will join. Ayan, I have already someone who joined the session. And then once you're done letting the students join the session, just close the link. And in the teacher tab, what you'll see is their answers here. So you'll be able to see the answers beforehand. And then for the presentation, if you want your students to show or if you want your students to read the answers of the other students anonymously, you can present or show the responses of your students. So here is an example of that, of the different responses that you can show. It can be in list or grid view for better viewing. Ayan. So thank you for those who joined the session. Now, you can also lock the screen so your students won't be able to add more answers after a given period, especially if you have limited time. So lock the screen so that they can add any more answers there. And then once you're done showing the responses, you can now proceed to the other questions. So that's for the Pear Deck. And as you can see here in the teacher dashboard, I can see who answered. Thank you, Sir Michael and Sir Gary, for joining the session. So as you can see here, I can see that they have answered this answers in this question. Ayan. So that's for our Pear Deck. So for the draggable, what you can see here is actually a live dragging of the icons. Yan. So as you can see, they can drag the icons from A, B, C, and for them not to change their answers, Once you have given them enough time, if they have selected their answers, you can lock the screens and they can no longer move the icons. So as, again, you can see this is the answer for most of the students, and you can see the understanding of the students regarding the topic you are discussing. Ayan. So that is for our pair deck. So actually, that's it. We have here the draw emoji. So your students can also draw. So more different activities for them for their what do you call this? For their attention, more attention. Ayan, to call their attention more. So we have here, yeah, they can draw their emojis to check out how are they feeling, and you can show it with them na okay, they're doing good. Some of my classmates are not doing good, but you are showing it anonymously. So the answers are anonymous and they can know who answered which in your question. So again, it gives more confidence and comfortability for your students to answer here using Pear Deck. Okay? So that's it for the Pear Deck. Now, if you're done with the session with the pair deck, just click on end. And actually, you can share the session with your students. So, I'm doing this with my students. So, the slides that we have used, and there are questions there. It's actually another type of handout for them. So, additional handout for them, additional material for them to learn. So, what I can do is to generate takeaways. So what this do is they convert the Google Slides to Google Docs and they'll have a copy of the slides that you have presented earlier. So all of the students who have joined the session will be able to get a copy of the slides and their answers on the activities that you have created. And that's one of the good or great feature of Prayer Deck that I have been using. So, para talagang lahat na ng tulong na kaya kong ibigay sa student, maibigay ko na. So, bukod dun sa handouts and books and modules na binibigay ko, meron pa silang slides, copy of slides with their answers from Pear Deck. So, that's it for Pear Deck. Now, actually, and that's it actually for this session. So again, recap, we have three ways to make our discussion more interactive for our students. So not only for them to unmute their mics, open their cameras, they can just join these platforms for them to participate in your activities or for you to gauge their understanding if they're really there, and if they have questions they can use also this platforms for their questions. So first we have just the Google Slides, and then for the second one we can add Google Jamboard for other activities, especially for those who are teaching math. And then last but not the least is Pear Deck, wherein we can really explore more options on how can we make our session interactive easier with just a click or two. So that's it for my session. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for those who participated, and thank you for those who have joined us for this session. You can follow me on Twitter and Wakelet for more contents at Tony Monsij. And then I'll take this opportunity to shout out to my colleagues from DLSUIS. Hello, hello sa mga nanonood na teachers. And to my family and friends watching right now, thank you for watching and being with me in this session. Thank you, GG Philippines, to Sir Gary and to Sir Michael for being with me today. Ayan, thank you po for this opportunity and for this platform for us trainers to share our knowledge and skills. So thank you again, everyone. Ayan, thank you, Sir Michael. Thank you po, thank you. Ay, sir, naka-mute po yata kayo.
Hello? Are you able to hear?
Ayan, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
again, thank you for the audience that for being here, and also for Miss Tony for sharing her expertise. In which it was very interesting that as what you made mention that for the basics you can just do like Google Slides, and then leveling up with Jamboard, and finally with Pear Deck, in which you have more control and more interactivity with the kids. So those are some of the useful tools that we can try to employ, especially when we have this online modality. Okay, so again, I hope that each and everyone has gotten some significant learnings for today, and sana marami din kayong natutunan. Huwag nyo pong kalimutan na sagutin yung evaluation form. Yung link po ay nasa chat box. So again, please try to answer the link in the chat box for the evaluation form. You have a chance to win GCE test vouchers and Google goodies just by answering the evaluation form. We will announce the winners on Sunday during the weekend wrap up at 8:15 p.m. So please try to do that one. We will also be sending out e-certificates for participation. Okay, so we hope that each and everyone has learned something. Salamat po sa ating speaker at audience, sa mga guro at sa mga guro na natutulungan para sa bayan. So this is all for our nation as we continue to move on, as we continue to strive to make it better. So thank you very much for everyone. Okay, so the next session that we will be having, so stay tuned for some of the next sessions that is available. So um, where was that? So um, after this session, there's also another session, Screencastify, if I'm not mistaken. Miss Tony, are you the one who will be what do you call this? Having that one, Miss Tony?
Yes po, sir. Ako po
Yeah,
ulit. So,
yeah,
kita-kita po ulit later.
yeah. Later on at 5 to 5:45. So again, we'd like to invite each and everyone to join in with the session on Screencastify with Miss Tony again, in which I know that you guys will be able to learn a lot for Screencastify and how you would be able to use it for our online modality. So again, thank you very much, and God bless us all. Thank you.